Orcs and Men is a game where you're actually going to play two heroes for every aspect of the game. And you're going to play it as an orc and as a goblin. In most games you're actually playing humans. Here we've decided to put the player in a perspective of characters and races you don't always see in games, and which are generally presented as the bad guys or the stupid guys. And here we really try to take every races and everything that relates to a fantasy genre and put it into a medieval context. We try to rethink what is an orc, what is a goblin, what is their culture, what is their trade system, what is their social system, and everything regarding that. Here you can see Arkyle, which is our orc. 8 feet tall, very straightforward, very direct. Has a bit of problem of anger management. I will come later to that because it has an impact in combat. And here is Styx. Styx is a small goblin. He's really a cheater, liar, always trying to gamble and arrange things. He's really a lot into conversation, this one. From a story perspective, as the game starts, orcs and goblins just have lost a big war against the humans. So you actually put into the steps of the ones that just lost the war, and humans have decided that the best way to prevent any further war against the Greenskins would be to kill them all. So the Emperor of the Human has decided a genocide against the Greenskin, and every Greenskin is being persecuted and wiped out. Okay, so this is a role-playing game system, which obviously implies a dialogue system where you can actually choose which kind of sentence answer. And this obviously have a choice on the way you conclude quest, or on the way quest resolves. It's also create branches that might have an impact in the later chapters of the game. Obviously, since you're playing two characters, at several points of the game, every time you're speaking to someone else, you will actually be able to choose which of your two characters you let answer. So whether you let the orc answer the question or the goblin answer the question. And since each of them has their very unique style, it will have an impact as well on the quest.
You don't get it. I'm not putting my mission in danger by following some stupid goblin. Get out of here. I'll get there on my own.
You're the one who doesn't get it.
So as I was saying, the Emperor of the Humans have decided a genocide against every orcs and goblins. And since you are part of the few last left, your mission is to get into from the orc territory to the human land, find the human emperor and try to kill him, try to assassinate him. That's actually the only last solution to try to survive to this genocide that I've started. It's a kind of Inglorious Bastard scenario where, you know, it's a kind of suicide mission, but you're one of the few last left to conclude it. The small goblin will help you in everything regarding to infiltration and this kind of stuff. And as you can guess, the orc will be much more potent for everything that regards fights and having a, let's say, violent engagement. Okay, so here in this very small cinematics, I'm going to get from behind with my goblin because the massive orc is locked, and I need to get around with my goblin to open the door and make my orc come in. Here we are. Okay, so in this mission, I need to infiltrate this level to actually try to get to the feet of the walls that I will need to cross. So here, as you can see, I can swap from one character to the other at any time. The other one will follow automatically. And here is a small cinematics where you actually see a few humans, which are the militia, which is in all the area, and they've actually captured, you see, 2 orcs that they have tortured and killed, and this is a small taste of what will happen if you get caught by the human. And here is one of the Inquisitor. This one is very able for everything that relates to tracking greenskins and kill them. And so this guy is really your enemy for this level.
Or there won't just be wood on the fire the next time you take 10.
Okay, I'm going to skip a bit of dialogues here to get directly into gameplay. Okay, here we are. So here I'm with my goblin, And this is the occasion for me to show you something very specific about what the goblin can do. So at any time where you're doing exploration, you can actually decide to press the RB button right here and get into stealth mode. And in stealth mode, you can go very close to enemies without being detected, as long as you come from behind. And this allows you to kill enemies from behind in one single hit, which is very powerful because it prevents you from engaging combat. So you must be careful when using stealth. When you try, for example, to kill this guy, and you get spotted by this guy, you lose your stealth, and a fight will engage between you and this guy. So here the fight is starting. I can actually control my character, so I can move in freely. I can ask my orc to come and assist my goblin. As you can see, my orc is coming to assist my goblin in the fight. And you can switch from one character to the other. At any point, you can actually slow the game to try to give new orders, as I'm doing right now. Okay, here we are. Okay, he's dead. Let's move on. I'm going to show you another part of the game where you actually get more control about which are the combination between your orc and your goblins. So, for example, in this situation, you see we've got 4 enemies. So 3 here and 1 in the back. And 1 spearman. Spearmen are especially powerful against my orc because they can attack him from afar and they will interrupt my orc. So spearmen are a big danger for me. And you can see this guy here. And so I'm going to ask, and you can do it at any time, press the X button, and your orc will grab your goblin and send him away, just to get behind enemy line. So here I can ask my orc to charge these guys, and here I can control my goblin and take focus of this guy here to try to kill him very quickly, and use my abilities. Here, each time I use an ability, you'll see I'll get a new abilities I'll get in the stack menu here, for example here. And my character will do every action I've ordered him to do. Okay, good. So here you can see my orc is taking care of these 3 guys. It's doing good. Okay, let's focus on this guy. And I'm going to switch to my goblin to show you the different stances. So each character actually have 2 stances. For the goblin it's melee, which allows you to use melee abilities. And he has the range stances. So here, I don't want my goblin to get into the melee, so I'm going to put him in range. So he will, as you see, will shoot daggers from afar. And since I've set him into the range, he's going to stay into range as long as I control my orc. So it's a kind of auto AI, where depending on which kind of stances you use, your AI, when you're not controlling the character, is going to use that. For the orcs, I've got the defensive, which is good when there is many opponents, because you have more armor and you take less damage. And the offensive, which is great when there is few opponents because it does lots of damage and is very lethal. So here I'm just going to let this guy run through my goblin, and I'm going to focus on my orc against the spearman. Even though it's dangerous against my orc since he's alone, it should go quite easily. Okay, good. So my goblin continues to kill this guy, and here we are. Just managed to win this fight easily with my goblin throwing. So here I've just gained experience through my combats and my dialogues. So I'm able to get into my character sheet. Here we are. So each character has their own character sheet. So you have obviously the orc and the goblin. Each character has their own characteristics, and each characteristic have an impact on the different statistics of the game. So for example, if you decide to improve your agility, it will boost your chance of critical hit and your dodge for your goblin. Obviously you also have the same thing for the orc. For example, here I'm going to boost my friends. You have skills. So here you've got 8 different skills for each stances. So offensive for the orc and defensive for the orc, and obviously range for the goblin and melee for the goblin. So for example, here for my orc, I'm going to unlock this new ability that I will be able to use in combat. And I can choose later on, when I will have points, to choose 1 out of 2 upgrades. So each skill can have 2 upgrades, but you must choose only 1 out of the 2. And this really allows you to adapt your skills depending on your play style. We've got a world map, obviously, to find yourself in the world, and quest log to track your adventure and your progression through main quest and secondary quest. Okay, let's go on a little. here I'm going to show you what's, I was talking to you about this little anger management issue of our orcs. Let me show you how it works. Okay, so here I just stumbled into a big pack of enemies. So I'm going to use my orc, use my new ability, the one I've just unlocked, to taunt every opponent upon my orc, and use my goblin to get directly into melee to try to kill the spearmen here. Okay, here we are. Okay, good. So my orc is doing okay against all these opponents. I'm going to try to stun this guy here and try to focus on doing some more damage. And with my goblin, I'm going to try to kill him quickly. Okay, good. As you can see, as I am playing, my rage bar here is going up. So each time you use an ability with your orc, you reduce your rage bar a little. But each time you take a hit, or if you move into offensive stance, your rage bar will go up much quicker. And you must be very careful. Because if you let the rage bar go to the top, you will actually lose control of your character. I'm going to show you how it works. So for example here I just lost control of my character. So here I don't control my orc anymore. He's automatically attacking the enemies close to him, but he can also attack my goblin. So if I'm not being very careful, he can actually kill my goblin in 1 or 2 hits. So I take my goblin out of the fight. I'm going to move into range and try to kill this opponent just by throwing daggers away. Okay, as you can see, the orc is very, very powerful, but the rage bar is going down, and when the rage bar gets to the bottom, it will be very exhausted for the rest of the fight. So you must be very careful at which point you let your orc get berserk, and to control the timing where you actually let him enrage himself. Okay, good, here we are. Okay, I just succeeded through this combat. Okay, I'm going to load another level to show you a different environment. Yes, let's go this one and show you some more customization option you can have regarding stuff and equipment. Okay, for this save game, I'm like 2/3 of the game roughly. I'm right inside the human land, kind of snowy mountain of Tibetan inspiration, and I'm trying to escape this mountain. I'm followed by some humans that are tracking me. Here you can see some humans.
What is the name of the fortress? What is the name of the fortress?
It's a monastery. It's a temple monastery.
Can you write? It's a monastery.
Monastery, yeah.
It's no name.
So here I've got my orc and my goblin, 2 humans, which are actually sympathizer to the Greenskin cause. They're mages, one of the few left. Very few mages are still alive, and they are actually going to help me in this quest. So here you can see some different outfit for your orc. So in the game you have a different kind of weapon you can select through while playing the game, and you can collect them. You've got a different set of armor, obviously. You also have different kind of gloves as well. You have different kind of greaves to customize your leggings, and some kind of trinkets. Obviously you've got the same thing for your goblin with different kind of chests and different kind of daggers as well. And as you can see, orcs and goblins are actually using some kind of trade system which implies bargaining. So they don't have money, they're just bargaining through each other. Okay, let's move on a little. So the game is basically split into 5 major chapters. Each chapters contain several different quests, including main quests, but also secondary quests. Like I said earlier, that have an impact on the main quest and are related to the main quest at all the time. A game is roughly 15 hours long if you just rush it, and if you do every secondary quest and play in a higher level of difficulty, between 20 and 25 hours.
Run! Come on, you can't take him on!
You have sealed your orders fate
heretics cannot withstand the Inquisition.
It's very dark fantasy, so there is very few magic. This is one of the only kind of magic. It's a kind of telekinesis, and mages are able, and Inquisitor are able to master it, but on very rare occasion. So you won't see fireball in this game.
Flee, Greenskins. You will merely sow death among all your allies until none are left to stand against us. Inform the commander of the Imperial forces and the Lords of the Inquisition. The mages are accused of harboring the fugitives, and thus of abetting all the crimes the two Greenskins may have committed. The penalty for such acts is death.
So here we are. The game is planned to release on early October on Xbox, PS3 and PC.